Good day, everyone. Again, this is Mr. Faisal, and today's lesson it's all about the input box in Visual Basic. Input box function will display a message box wherein the user can enter a value or a message in the form of text. In Visual Basic, you can use the following format. We have here my message, which will stand as our variable, and then the input box function together with the argument. So my message is a variant data type wherein we need to declare as a string so that it will accept message or an input to your user. Now, this type of message box displays a message and wait for the user to respond by pressing a button. This function always returns a string, so you often have to convert the value to its correct data type. Even if a numerical value is entered, it will be returned as a string. So this is an example of an input box. It contains two buttons, OK and cancel, and your text box wherein you are asked to input any data. So it is always a good idea to test the result before proceeding to this situation can be handled. Now, with these arguments, we have prompt wherein the message displayed normally as a question asked. The title is the title of your input box, while the default text this appears in your input field where user can use it as his intended input or he may change to the message he wished to enter. And your X position and Y position or the coordinates of the input. Let's have an example. So I have designed here my form with one label, which I change the text, the sum of two numbers, and a text box. Together, I have my button, which I also change the text into calculate the sum. Now, as I design my form, I'm going to double click the button to enter or to input my codes. So look on my codes. Since I will ask my user to enter two numbers, therefore I declare first num1 and num2. So this num1 will ask to have an input box that will ask the user to input his first number, while my num2 that I declared, I also call the input box to ask the user to enter the second number. Now I also declare sum so that these two numbers will be added. So sum equals num1 plus num2, or the value that your user enter first plus the number that he entered the second time. And then the text box will display the total sum. That's why text box 1 dot text equals sum. If you want to pause this video to analyze the code, you may do so. Now, once I have 5 and I press calculate the sum, an input box will appear. You are asked to enter your first number. For example, now this type of message box displays a message and wait for the user to respond by pressing a button. This function always returns a string, so you often have to convert the value to its correct data type. Even if a numerical value is entered, it will be returned as a string. So this is an example of an input box will be placed in our text box, and that is 31. And that is how this input box works. Now, for your activity, I want you to open your book, pages 77 to 78, and I want you to do how this input box is used. There you will find it also uses what we call the message box. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask questions in our discussion in Schoology, and you can also follow me in Zoom. Thanks for watching.